This is the brand new 2024 Lenovo Legion 5i, and I wasn't gonna review it. It just didn't make sense since this has been the same laptop for the past few years. But I saw it on sale at Costco for $12.99, and I feel like you can't turn that up. For that price point, the Legion 5i in general has always been a solid pick. And this year for $12.99, not only are you getting an RTX 4060 that can run up to 140 watts, but you're also getting 32 gigabytes of RAM. Now look, from a design standpoint, it's still the same looking laptop. They really haven't changed a lot of things on it. You still have the aluminum stamped top lid, the Legion lettering on the right-hand side. You have the icons on the back directing you where to connect your cables. Yes, this gray color obviously still picks up a lot of fingerprints. The bottom is PCB or plastic, and then you have a device that weighs about 5.2 pounds, but when you add on the 230 watt charger, it brings it up closer to 7 pounds. Now, no matter what laptop, phone, or tablet you do buy, make sure to keep it secure with ESET Home Security Ultimate, which now has identity protection here in Canada. ESET's identity protection service has you covered with 24/7 monitoring, rapid alerts, and recovery services. It even scans the dark web for your personal info. Also, with one click, the built-in VPN secures your connection in over 60 countries, perfect for streaming safely. Your browsing will always be secure, cookies will be cleaned up, payments will be protected, and sensitive data can be wiped from your photos. Thanks ESET for partnering on this part of the video. Make sure to click on the link in the description to learn more. Like, this has just been a solid laptop over the past few years. Like, a laptop that's never really truly breaken the bank compared to the more expensive ones on the market. Now, by no means this is a budget product, but it's always been a solid mid-range choice. You do have a good amount of I/O with a USB-A port on the left-hand side, 2 USB Type-C ports. One can do 10 gigabits per second. This one will allow you to use a Type-C charger up to 140 watts to charge your laptop. So if you don't want to bring the bigger charger with you, you can absolutely do that. Combo audio jack, and then on the other side, you actually get a full-size RJ45 port, camera switch to disable it, micro SD, 2 more USB-A ports, and then on the back, a power connector and an HDMI port. You just have like a ton of I/O. The one thing you should know about this laptop though, that there is no Thunderbolt 4, so just keep that in mind. Opening it up, super easy. This is a gaming laptop. The display on this guy goes 180 degrees, so you can lie it all the way flat. If you want to stick it under your monitor, you can totally do that, and then just use the keyboard that's on top of it. The actual keyboard experience is not the best compared to other Lenovo laptops. Like, the spacing is good. You're gonna type on it just fine, but the actual keys are a little squishy or mushy. It doesn't feel as nice as, let's say, the keys on a ThinkPad, but you know, they have to make some sacrifices somewhere. Numerical keypad on the right-hand side. I know some of you like that. You actually get full-size arrow keys, which is great to see. Stickers are just like all over the place. There's more stickers on here than on a Barbie doll.
What?
You have a touchpad over here, which is not completely centered. It's okay. Very, very deep, like diving board. It's not the best touchpad, but again, most of you buying this are probably connecting an external mouse. Now, you do have 4 zones of RGB, and you can go ahead into the Lenovo Vantage software and customize it to any color you want. And then you have the colored power button, which will change colors depending on the profile that you have it on. You can quickly just use Function Q. Now, I did have one issue with this laptop. These manufacturers, this goes for all of them, not just Lenovo, they're getting a little crazy with the bloatware. Like McAfee, which I hate. I don't want to see McAfee ever again, was installed in this, and it was just causing so many problems with apps loading and being used. Now, I get it. These manufacturers take these deals to make a little bit of extra money, hopefully bringing the prices down for us consumers. But man, like, if you just bought your first gaming laptop and you're not too like computer savvy, this is the experience you want to give your consumers, like having issues loading up applications and just starting off on a bad foot. We got to tone down the bloatware. Let's keep things a bit cleaner. Now, what is clean is this 165 Hertz IPS level display. It's a good display, like it's solid. You know, you get average screen brightness. One of you guys asked me how this would fare if you're out in the sun. Don't game with this out in the sun. It's gonna be too bright for the screen to handle it. Like, it's just not bright enough, so keep that in mind. But 165 Hertz is good. The color gamut is good. The color accuracy is exceptional. Like, you could totally do design work on this. Viewing angles are not the greatest, but it's fine. Like, it's a good solid gaming display. All right, this is the webcam. It's 1080p. Just using some natural window light. It's a cloudy day, so it's doing a good job diffusing the light. So it's probably gonna look decent. But yeah, you guys let me know how it looks, and more importantly, how do the microphones sound? Now, performance is exceptional on this laptop. Like if you're looking for a really good RTX 4060 paired with an HX CPU, Lenovo nailed it. Like they absolutely nailed it. Single core clock speeds are solid. Like they're super solid, exactly where they should be. Multi-core speeds are nice and high, beating out most other laptops on the market, including the new HX 370 CPUs that AMD is offering. Obviously, these CPUs use a lot more power, so it's expected. But if you want performance, that's what the HX CPUs do. Now, if you're buying this for, let's say, Photoshop and Premiere Pro, it's a bit of a different story. Like it still performs very well, but I'm testing this against the G16, for example, which has an RTX 4070. That's gonna perform a little bit better, but overall it was fairly close. Mozilla Firefox, compiling stuff on this thing is super fast. Like it did it in only 20 minutes, which is really, really good. But most of you, again, are probably buying this for gaming. And the 4060 inside of here is amazing. Now they do advertise this as a 140 watt 4060, but the most I've seen it go up to or boost up to is around 112 watts. I'm okay with that. As long as it hits 100 watts, you're going to get full performance out of this RTX 4060, and that's exactly what this thing does. In fact, if you compare it to the RTX 4070 and the G16, which runs at a lower wattage, this comes really close, like super close. And if you're gaming on this, any game you play, like a lot of them 2560 by 1600, which is the screen resolution, could totally handle most older optimized titles. Obviously, if you're playing games like Cyberpunk, it's gonna slow down a bit, but overall, very solid gaming experience. Fan noise, super loud, just like every other HX laptop. Like you have this on performance mode, you're getting close to 60 decibels. If you leave it on auto, it drops down a little bit into the lower 50s. But of course, if you're bringing this to class, you can put it on quiet mode if you don't mind taking a hit in performance, and have the fans be below 40. Now, CPU temperatures are good, hovering in the mid 80s, so nothing to get concerned about. Average core clock speeds are lower than something like the HX 370. There's just a lot more heat in this laptop, so they can't sustain that higher core clock speed as long as other more efficient products. But the CPU power draw goes around 100 watts, at least it averages out, but it can boost up a little bit higher. So getting inside is super easy. Just please don't eat the batteries, okay? They're not food, just saying. But once you're in, you have upgradable RAM, which I haven't talked about in a long time because it's only available on laptops, or most laptops, with HX series of CPUs. Upgradable to 64 for $12.99. You get 32 gigabytes standard, which is great to see. 2 slots for drive. One of them is populated with a 2280. This gets really good read and write speeds. Just note, if you plan on populating the second one, this needs to be a 2242, not a 2280. It just won't fit. Swappable Wi-Fi card. This is Wi-Fi 6E, so if you want, you can swap it out to Wi-Fi 7. Tons of copper, big fans, very well cooled. Battery is big at 80 watt hours, but the battery life on this is bad. Like this is an HX series CPU, only under 4 hours of use before needing to charge. As for the speakers, I'm not gonna comment on them because they sound pretty much like ass. So look, this thing is $12.99 and you get a pretty good spec sheet here of 32 gigabytes of RAM, a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, and a really well performing laptop. I get why they haven't changed the design so quickly. It's just been solid. You know, like this Legion 5i has always been a very good price point for a solid lower end mid-range laptop that just gives you good performance. And I feel like if that's all you want and you don't care about having like the perfect keyboard or the perfect touchpad or like a lighter laptop in general, you're gonna love this. Like I just don't have a lot of complaints about it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.